Palo Santo, very good for you. Keeps them energies high, that vibration high. Kali, change, cosmic change, destroyer of illusions. Get yourself some daggone sage as well. Because these are the times, my friend, as you already know. Call this time Kali Yuga from the Hindu philosophy, way of life. And many cultures talk about going in cycles. You have high cycles, low cycles, in between cycles. But it's a lot of stuff going on. And it's getting a little hectic, a little more hectic. It's been hectic. So my thing is to empower yourself. Always been about empowerment. You know what I mean? Not playing this whole victim role, because if you look at it, you made a contract to come here anyway, to experience this, to be part of this, to learn from this, coming from up high to come on down low in this first fleshly suit, your birthday suit, So there's many ways to remember who you were and who you are, because they have all kinds of things to keep you distracted, to forget who you is. So my thing, been for many paths, and there's so many different ways to get there. And but currently, last 10 years, but really the past about 4 or 5 years, taking it more serious, has been my exploring the whole path of shamanism. The medicine man path, the medicine woman path, the bush doctor, this, that, and the other. And the shaman path is a very interesting path because it's a experiential path. It's a very mystic path. And there always been shamans throughout the world, Many people that write on the subject, so-called experts and things, they would classify as the first spiritual movement, or before religion, organized religion was manifested. You always had the shamans who were responsible for the greater people, for the village. They were the ones who were able to go into the spirit realm, get information from up high or down low or whatever, and being able to get the information and visit the ones who passed away, get the prophecies and all that. And the shamans had many ways of going into their inner self. They used the drum, which is a very sacred tool for many shamans, the rattle. They would use sacred dance as a tool to go, because a lot of techniques within the shaman path is to go into the level of trance, or to go into that state of mind to access that information, So many shamans would use dance as a tool, would use, even singing, certain vibration as a tool to open themselves up, certain chanting, would use even what they would call sacred teaching plants, sacred teaching plants, sacred fungi, and the movement is coming back, man, because you have a lot of people talking about the sacred plants of ayahuasca, which is the mother plant, ibogaine or iboga, peyote, psilocybin mushrooms. These are all great tools for people to go within. And especially now, in the time that we're accelerating at a super fast rate with our technology, my thing is that we should be able to elevate and evolve as fast as spiritual beings as well. And so that, to me, it doesn't mean like the old methods of the old sitting with a guru or a sage in a temple or something for so many 20, 30 years to still your mind, where you can actually go on a journey for 3 or 4 hours and bam, get into that spirit world and do what you do the healing for yourself, get the information, the downloads and all that. So some people might, especially those within the conscious community or spiritual community, those traditionalists, they might look at it and say, well, you're spiritually cheating or skipping grades by taking something outwardly to get there. And to me, I think it's not contradicting at all. Because if you look at it, those who meditate to get there and stuff, they're releasing something within their pineal gland called DMT or dimethyltryptamine, right? This is what actually gives a person a spiritual experience or a mystical experience. You know what I mean? You release dimethyltryptamine in abundance when you're first born, coming into this planet. So you come out your mother's womb on a psychedelic trip, and you leave this planet dying on a psychedelic trip. You know what I mean? It floods your whole body in abundance, dimethyltryptamine, when you're dying as well. Dimethyltryptamine is responsible for your dream state. And again, when you're meditating and when you're in these ecstatic states, you release it. So what is outwardly is already in you anyway. Some people might take them a long time to be able to release this DMT. Some people might have to sit still for years to get to that state. Where, as I said, we're moving rapidly. Why not be able to do what you have to do to get there now? Now, of course, with anything you do, there's a precaution. There's a level of doing it with safety in an honoring way. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just don't jump in the deep end if you don't know how to swim yet. But that's why the shaman or the medicine man, medicine woman was always there to assist a person and to make sure they're going about it in the right way. Again, I've been dealing, I've had experience with certain so-called psychedelic plants. I've been dealing with psilocybin mushrooms over 10 years now, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So much healing, you know what I mean, on my end, I could personally say, which I want to really go into. But the thing is, my question is, why is it that you don't see that many people of color, particularly Black folk, Latino, really in this whole arena, which we call, shamanism or the teaching plant, teaching fungi? You don't really see Black folk in it like that, especially those within the so-called conscious community. There's a lot of taboo surrounding it, and some people have this stereotype, you want some hippie trippy stuff, you dealing with some white hippie type of stuff. And to me, that's far from reality, from the truth, because again, has been part of many people's experiences around the world. Like I said before, they always been the shaman, the medicine man, medicine woman around the world doing this work. In the 1960s, of course, there was that big movement which even before the 1960s, really starting with the beatniks, with that whole jazz bebop movement, really starting from there for many white Americans, but then really blowing up in the 1960s and the hippie movement with cats like Timothy Leary, Ram Dass, and even later Terrence McKenna. What I think is interesting is that, especially like Ram Dass, Timothy Leary and stuff, these guys being Harvard professors and stuff, coming out of that whole academic mindset, very left brain mindset. I don't think they had the tools at the time to be able to take that whole teaching plant fungi thing and use it to its fullest extent, fullest benefit. I don't think they had the blueprint, the shaman techniques and the knowledge to take it further, So you had a lot of, young white kids and different people, just tripping out, just getting high, rather than just seeing that this is a tool that could be used for your own spiritual growth. Now, what I think is interesting now is that we're moving forward in a place where now people are seeing it's not just no hippie trippy thing. You have actual universities, medical establishments that are investigating this thing, called psychedelics or what have you. You have John Hopkins University doing studies on ayahuasca, psilocybin, ibogaine, and the studies are deep because you can look them up, and the studies are showing that these teaching plants, fungi, are helping people with depression, helping with people with anxiety, helping people with all kinds of different issues, post-traumatic stress disorder. I met a man who actually, I had the opportunity to speak at UMass Amherst on the subject of urban shamanism. And this guy who fought in the Iraq war, he came back with post-traumatic stress disorder. And it was only ayahuasca, the mother plant, that was able to help him get sleep for the first time and to deal with his demons and stuff. So people are actually starting to look at it and saying, there's something to this. I'm running out of time, but I'm going to continue. Peace.